very excited, you know. We wanted actually to show you how what we do. And so different things, and then maybe then you can even comment or whatever you want to say. So let me please introduce our colleague, our associate partner in the project, Nada Atrash. She is from the Center for Cultural Heritage Preservation, especially buildings in Bethlehem. She is not a linguist, she is not an IT person, she is just a cultural person. So yeah, architect, sorry.
I know I'm the last presentation, and I know it's a totally different topic. I've been hearing what you have been presenting since the morning, and I was shocked sometimes with, that's where I went wrong. Or maybe if we can have a solution for this problem, it will be much easier for us as a center to proceed with our work. So first of all, before I start, I would like to introduce our center in a few words. We are the Center for Cultural Heritage Preservation. We've been found to continue the missions that were started by Bethlehem 2000 project for the purpose of preparing Bethlehem for the millennium. As the project stopped after 2000, we continued to work in cultural heritage preservation. Our field of work diverges in two fields. The first one is preserving tangible cultural heritage, which is mainly we work in buildings, renovating historic center, and awareness campaign that accompany both of these projects. But the most important part in our work is the research we conduct in order to select our project, in order to continue with comprehensive approaches in selecting projects, and in order to build a cultural heritage database in Bethlehem and about Bethlehem. So, through the different campaigns that we have been conducting, and through the different projects that were funded from different partners, they were talking about the lack of funding. We have the same problem, the lack of funding for our projects. We were able to collect an enormous database of, let's say, we've now exceeded 6,000 objects and digital material. We are now talking about the digital material. We're not talking about the tangible heritage. So this material varied depending on the projects that we conduct. The first project that I would like to present and what we have collected through that project is the Bethlehem Area Conservation and Management Plan. In order to be able to conduct this project, we needed to conduct research on the historic town of Bethlehem, Beit Jala and Beit Sahur. So we have gathered the data available on Bethlehem area that we could acquire. We have digitized that data when possible, and we have categorized that data into 12 categories. When you were talking about ontology and the spellings and the differences between Arabic and English and French and how to move the names, especially between one language and another, that's one of the major problems we face in Bethlehem. And one of the main issues that have caused this problem for us, Bethlehem area, is being the birthplace of Jesus. Because of that, we have many nationalities who've been living there since forever, since 500 or 600 years. Even the way we write our names in Arabic is not the same within the same family. I mean, you can find one family that has 200 members and that have 2 or 3 types of writing their names because either they studied in France, Spain, or Italy, or their origins were mixed with these origins, or because they have traveled somewhere to Latin America and came back. So even writing our names have varied within the same family. Sometimes it's back dialects that are used in Bethlehem, Beit Jala, and Beit Sahur, which differ, and sometimes it's in the same town. So finding the data and categorizing it was really a tough job for us. So through this project, we were able to systemize our data in the way we've seen it right. After systemizing it manually, of course, with Excel, we were shocked because we didn't want to proceed, because we were not sure of the way we have spelled things, because we were able to find 2 or 3 books talking about the same topic, but spelling it in different sorts. So if we have continued, how could a person find the same data searching the name? Do they have to know the spellings of the name in different forms? That was one of the problems. So at a point we stopped. The other thing that caused this variation of names is also, it was on the international level, because of the different ebbs to Bethlehem. So we had different people coming. Everybody was spelling the local names as they have heard it. The interest of the people who came to Bethlehem and to Palestine in general have also caused the same problem. So if you want to go now and search on resources on cultural heritage in Palestine, you would find German people writing like Dalman. You would find French people writing and documenting, let's go, photography like Bonfils, who use different spelling. We'll find Dutch people working on Bethlehem like Van de Velde and Palestine in general. And then there are the Arabs who had different backgrounds. So when we see Tawfiq Canaan would work the way the French people work because he studied in France. While if you go to Ramallah and people who worked in Ramallah, you will have the English style because their backgrounds were English. That was one of the things that complicated us at our research. Then we went into smaller projects like the Mediterranean Voices, and we tried to document the tangible and intangible cultural heritage of Bethlehem as a town. It was a little bit of an easier job because we were working with people and interacting with people, so it was easier for us to document. But then again, the data we collected, we have kept it as we have collected it because we didn't want to go further as a center without having the proper methodologies to archive this data in database. So if we go through our database resources, we would have books, we would have original maps, we would have original documents, we would have original certificates, we would have personal documentations and letters. Also, we were able, through our work, to collect lots of the correspondence between Bethlehem. And when we say Bethlehem, it's very important for me to clarify. We mean Bethlehem, Beit Jala, and Beit Sahura, its towns and the surrounding villages. We're not only talking about Bethlehem, the city. We were able to collect letters that documented the correspondence between the Bethlehemites in Bethlehem and their families in Latin America, France, wherever. And we were also able to write a small research on each project we have conducted, in Arabic and in English. That was based both on the personal data that we have collected, on the oral interviews of people around that project, and on the documentations that we were able to have on the town. And here we would like also to refer that we were able to connect and even gather the texts that were written by the pilgrimage on Bethlehem. So our database is enormous. We have it, we know what we have. We open it for researchers, and usually we try to help the people who come to us searching for a certain item on different topics. We are always proud to say that we were able to document small houses, small family businesses, and we were able to conduct the research and write the document to nominate Bethlehem on the World Heritage List. But still, we need a proper way of offering our data to researchers. Let's say somebody comes and people from our unit, the Research and Training Unit, which takes care mostly of all of the data in the center, are not there for a reason or another. It would be a shame for us because we don't have that proper system in which people can search and find what they need in our archives. So I think we will be the case study for this project. We'll be very proud to contribute with the data we have and with the information we have, and to offer our time for you, so you can help us categorize our data and build this archive. And we are also, as always, our archives are open to everybody, and we don't mind sharing them on a portal. Thank you.
So, questions, please? Haytham, do you have questions? Because Haytham is one of the team working on this.
What's the form of the current
I only presented, in my presentation, I only talked about the digital data. I didn't talk about the objects that we did not digitize. We have some artifacts and some handicrafts collected from Bethlehem. We have access to many private collections that include photographs, lithographs, mother-of-pearl objects, Dead Sea stone objects, embroidery, dresses. We have access to that. We started to digitize them. But still, I didn't present them here because we want to have a full database of, or at least to digitize 10 items of each collection in order to start the database, and then we can continue.
Other questions? Let me ask actually several questions, so, at least for the sake of the project. Now, so you digitize them. What does it mean, digitize? So you just scan and you stop, that's it.
Scan, we store, we...
Do you have like something called metadata or something? Do you make a description of
Yes, we have it on Excel sheets. Because we started doing that in order to start our database, to convert them to a database.
Yeah.
And then we panicked because of the problems that you mentioned, which are spelling, names, and what sort of categorization should we use?
Okay.
So we kept them.
Okay.
For us, for you mean something else with your terminologies.
Yeah,
for us, my background is after that.
Okay.
So some of the things you said were really alien for me.
So you have really raw data with the kind of general descriptions done by, let's say, not librarians.
No. We have taken the help of some librarians in digitizing our data. So when we have categorized the data into columns and Excel sheets, we were assisted by librarians to have, I mean, for the bibliography, you need to have this and that and that and that and that.
Mm-hmm.
But we didn't go a step further because we panicked from translation.
Which language do you use for the description?
English and sometimes Arabic, mostly English.
Mostly English?
Mostly English, yes. But we have, that's another problem because some of my database is in Arabic.
But you have, so it's mixed?
So it's mixed, yes, it's English and Arabic.
So how many, let's say, objects do you have?
More than 5,000.
5,000. Okay.
You have a relational representation
Database.
of the database.
It is in a sense, is it in a database? So his question is it in a database format?
Sort of them, yes. Part of them. So far we've been able to create a database with a company specialized in database, but it was created for buildings, maps, the maps of the buildings, and data collected to these buildings, including their photographs and documents.
Which company was that? You remember which company made this format?
ABS, you know, ABS? Yes, ABS. Alternative Business Solutions Ramallah.
ABS. Angela Buzet. Okay.
We're still finalizing.
Well, if it's under the Buzet, I can answer the question. It's an access database.
Yes, no, actually, it's not an access. He tried to create a program under the access, and we're still finalizing some of the comments that we have.
I suggest an entity relationship.
Yes. Absolutely.
It's the first step.
Well, actually, I would suggest even more. So this will be what we can do during the project, is to help to just to build a small ontology for them, and that cover their work, and then link this ontology with Michael and explore what they have. Well, actually, let me ask you the question: do you mind?
No, that was what I said at the beginning, and I think you remember my. We are an open source for everybody. We don't mind sharing our data, except for some files that we have bought for personal uses only. But the rest of the files that we have, we are ready to link to anyone.
Remember to make one step at a time. Probably the best choice is the first step to make reverse engineering in terms of an entity relationship representation that is very readable, very understandable.
Here, again, Chinese for me.
I know.
It's an easy Chinese.
Yes.
And then, in the second step, to translate entity relationship in terms of an ontology.
So then, Is this doable, do you think, Christoph? This is like doable task and for Sierra is to take the 5,000, make an ontology in Arabic or in English, doesn't matter, that to describe them. We try to structure their data. I'm sure not everything is structured, and then link it with.
I agree with you. The first thing to do from a more documentalist point of view, from Tezos point of view, is to define Tezos. Tezos, but of course, Tezos we knew technology, we knew methodology, including ontology, because it's more than desktop. But the first thing is, how can I understand my problem, my domain, what are the different concepts, different fields, how can I speak about that, what are the different standards used in Tezos.
There is a standard for Michael, metadata.
Not really, but we are thinking about using some ISO standards. For example, 10 to 41 standard. 1041,
I mean for cultural heritage, that metadata?
Yeah, also some ISO standards for Tezos, multi-level Tezos too.
About cultural heritage. I mean, because you have many resources in Michael, when people actually export their data, is that there is a Michael standard metadata format? Lido. I think maybe this is one also of the things that we can try to represent your data in Michael's format and then see.
Okay, so there's quite a lot of information in linked heritage website and Athena also website. And send you also websites.
And maybe the last step what we can do is to make this linking, entity linking, after we do all this work. Is like, say, if you see you have a painter or somebody from Holland, I'm sure, in Holland museum or library, they also have something about that guy. And to link, you know, the data across the...
Travel directly with navigable.
What I was going...
Siloc CRM.
Siloc CRM?
It's an ISO standard.
For?
Yes, for the representation of cultural heritage.
Yes, there is a standard for cultural heritage.
Yeah, yes.
Yes, ISO standard.
Since we already worked on this, and we also have like a ontology version of the subpart of the
Yes?
Yes, for another.
So if we give you some sample data, can you try to investigate?
Yeah, that would be interesting because in that project, that's also maybe one comment I had to give. For example, in that project, what we did is collect data from 3 different sources, and we wanted to publish them, like link and open data, and then also link them to geographic information, so to visualize them in a map. So the problems that what happened is that each database came with a different schema. So we manually aligned all this schema to the Siloc CRM schema, and then we used that schema as a kind of standard interface to the data with several projects that, by the way, are also discussed in the paper that I can give as. But in that case, we had a domain expert that was a colleague of ours, that was both an archaeologist and a semantic technology expert now. And basically, so it took really some manual work to find out these mappings, because usually that was my contribution. In this field, the mapping between different standards or different terminologies are really deeply difficult because the models are based on deeply different models. Like, for example, in Siloc is an event-based ontology. So everything is like an event. So you have the creation of something, you have the addition of something, the modification of something, and this, for example, is also create problems to search for the data and so on. So I was kind of surprised that she told that they didn't know how to categorize the data, because in my opinion it would be better that you have your own category standard, and then we use them, right? So we don't want to impose.
No, I have my category standard, but I wasn't sure whether if I go one step further, I would be able to go back and fix if I have a problem. Because, allow me to explain one thing. We started our work as CCHP in 2001. Up until 2006, we were an emergency project. And so our building of data is only a 5-year issue. So for us, we're a very new institution. Similar to most of the institutions in Palestine, we kept on working this way. So it is a little bit related to funding, related to different opinions that we hear from different people. So we wanted to make sure that when we go that one step further, we're doing it the way we want to do it, not the way that others came to give us the imposition.
That's very important. That's to me very important. That you use what you believe is useful from your point of view.
Yes.
Then it will be our problem to manage it in a correct way and to be able to integrate the data. That's actually
of course. So we separate between the data and the organization.
Yes, but this is why I said my terminology will be Chinese, and sometimes you honestly speak Chinese to me.
You speak Arab to me, so
yeah, I know, because we have different backgrounds. Even I panicked at a point that, for me, you were talking about subjects that I don't have any background in, or small background in.
Okay, is it possible to have a copy of the data? Just to have a look, you know, maybe tonight, tomorrow, or something like that. The database, I believe it's not that much big, so it can be transferred by email or something. Or, no? No? What do you mean? Why?
Very huge.
Why?
Maybe images and
photographs, scans, the tables. I can send part of them, which I have now.
Okay.
I can send the tables.
Can you please
I
send
have 5,000 lines. Sample.
Sample. We need a sample.
I can send the Excel file, which is a table. Or I can
No. I mean, not the Excel file.
You need samples of the
something
data.
Something called the database schema plus some sample. Well, the best thing is
you're visiting us on Friday for a tour in Bethlehem. You can have coffee at our office and
so
you can take a look at everything. Yes.
Let's talk about tomorrow.
Yes, tomorrow.
Tomorrow we have a program, if you want, to take you to Bethlehem and to maybe to Hebron. We will see. Maybe to Hebron.
Okay.
Depends on the time and the weather tomorrow. So because and you know we have an organization receiving us specialized to guide us in Bethlehem. So it's not like I got you there. So we are like VIP guests now.
Yes,
So
you can be our guests tomorrow in Bethlehem, and at a point we can drop out the center. You can copy whatever you want. So it will be easier for me to give you our database and explain to you what we have because I'm not an IT person.
So we can extend our...
yeah, and maybe we can have our IT specialist, Nicola, is available. He can join us tomorrow. He's our IT specialist in the form of following up with ABS with what they're doing, preparing the backups for us, preparing the systems. But he can be useful and he can help us communicate and give you what you need.
Your Fixer 5.2 is interesting because it's a way
So
of
tomorrow
it's very important. It's a way of classifying.
Yes. Yeah, you can, that way you can take a look at everything.
So I would like to thank you very much for your presentation. It was really understood, so don't worry. Because she was afraid that we will not be able to understand her. And we hope that you understood something from our 10%.
No, much more than 10%. It was very useful.
Yeah, then we are so
a little bit helped me orient some of the thoughts that I did, or to have some answers for them, some of the questions that I didn't have answers for before.
we have 3 years to give you the other 90%.
Honestly, if I get 50% by the end of the 3 years, I'll be thrilled.
A lot of content providers,
يلا مع السلامة. ماشي نستنى في الدخل.
كان صورة صور؟
still here at university. بعد سجلنا مصر بس مصر. لا سجلنا بس على الفيديو والكاميرا. ايش؟ يعني الدكتور محسن خدير كان بطيء طويل على الآخر جدا بس قلنا له مش مشكلة ما بقدروش يجوا بنودي حدا عندك زيارة جامعة
طلع الصورة
يعني
مشت
ما عدا الصراحة العلاقات العامة.
هلا هيدا بس
يعني